Jim, how'd you make out with Cedar?
I'll let you know. Executive. Don't mention it.
I wasn't mentioning anything because I missed what the question was, but I just heard you say executive.
CETA. Hold off. Hold off, CETA. I'll tell you why.
Oh, great.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We may have mics. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to back to the March 24th, 2009 Board of Selectmen Sewer Commissioners meeting. We were in executive. We are now back in open session. The clerk can call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, 4 selectmen are present. Mrs. Donahue is not with us this evening, and we have the interim town administrator, Mr. Sanjanet.
Okay. First item on the agenda tonight, citizens' participation. Was there anyone that came to address the board? Oh, Mr. Salerno.
Hi, my name is John Salerno. I'm here. My brother and I operate Mark Anthony's in Onset. God bless you. I'm just here to ask the selectmen how they feel or their views on the impending legislation for the ability for the town to raise the meals tax by 1% at the town level. Is that something I could ask the board about how they feel? I mean, and why potentially would they vote for it?
It's, you know, it's funny you asked something that's more of an agenda item where
Yes.
the board would probably discuss that matter. I don't know. I guess I can leave it to the board if they have any comment on it right now. I mean, it's not before us. I think it is in the warrant, but we'll be
Yes.
voting on that. So we'll probably be talking about that
The night
agenda
of the
item.
well, I just didn't know if they had given it any thought. Just wanted to. My feelings were that I feel that if the town's trying to come up with revenue, I understand where we are as a community and such. That I know it's the state's going to be passing a 1%. They're probably going to get to 6, and then if the town imposes 1, I mean, I know it's just a pass-through tax, but there's a tremendous psychological impact on the community and the people that work and operate businesses. And I just didn't know if that was something that they were considering where discretionary income is minimal. We're in a tough situation. So if it does come to that, I'd like to just hopefully they could think about that. I don't know, is there any number that the town already has that if they were to get 1%? Is there a number that would be
we
generated?
did get something a couple years ago that I think when the governor first proposed this, and because there's so many restaurants in Wareham, I want to say it was like over $400,000.
Dollars a year.
Yeah, dollars
Yes.
a year. And so, you know, obviously you can see it both ways, but personally, you know, I haven't been in favor of it, but
I just want
I
one
know
more,
the governor's thrown it out.
one more note and I'll be gone, and I thank you for your time. To me, it feels, I know it's a pass-through tax, but it really does feel like a business tax in a way, specifically towards the restaurant industry in the town. I mean, if it is going to be a business tax because you're trying to generate revenue, I would hope that maybe you would consider sharing the burden amongst all the businesses and maybe separate it out. So maybe all the businesses in the town could help pay the tax versus just restaurant industry per se. And if that's something that the town might consider. I mean, I'm willing to pay taxes. I have all of us pay taxes, but I mean, to hurt the industry.
I don't think we'd have the freedom.
No.
We wouldn't have to.
Well,
You know, they write the language a certain
Sure.
way. And
Well, with that in mind, then I'd like to just to consider the fact that with the impact it would have psychologically on the restaurant community on a year-round basis. I know that we're seasonal tourists and we generate revenue then, but there's 9 months out of the year that we have to still generate revenue. All right? Thank you very much.
Well,
If
oh, go ahead, you go ahead.
Okay.
I was going to say, one of the issues that I have with it and is that while you as a business owner feel that it is is going to be a hindrance to you, I look at it not only that, and I know it says we're going to generate, you know, $400,000, but I look at it being a former waitress that it impacts tips to, you know, waitresses and employees of the business, because if you have it that 1% when you're rounding off, that 1% they're not gonna add that extra 50 cents or $1, whatever, and usually it hurts the, the person that's making, I don't know if it's still $2.63 or $2.73 an hour as a waitress, but it hurts them on the tips. So we have to look at the other section, not just business, because we can say, well, they have hotel taxes that burden hotels, or people can see it that way. So, and I get that there isn't a fairness and equity there, but I also look at it's usually the working class, people that are counting on tips that will lose that 1%. So it is a concern. I've said that I'm not. I understand where we're going with it or whatever, but personally, I'm not in favor of it. So
I'm not in favor of it. I don't believe that I publicly opposed bifurcating the commercial and residential tax rate for the very same reason. I don't think the burden should be shifted to one class of taxpayer. In that case, the burden would be shifted to the business owner, and I disagree that a business owner, especially small business owners, should be impacted any more than a resident. I will never probably ever agree to an override. I don't believe in tax increases that are over and above what the statute says, and that's another class issue. I don't believe in raising taxes on certain consumer activity. The restaurants is a consumer activity, and I don't believe that those businesses, and especially in light of the fact, I think maybe you mentioned it, we're a seasonal community, and we have the burden, businesses have the burden of only making a living in a short period of time in this. I know you have a year-round business that does quite well, but I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about all businesses. And I think that it's more of a burden, and it is a pass-through, and it's a tax increase. It's almost a limited override, if you will, and I disagree, and I won't support it.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anyone else? Mr. Newman?
Thank you, Mr. I'm called a lot of things, but not Mr.
Me too.
What I've come up tonight for was, I just wanted to inform the public about the POW flag that I've been complaining about. That in the administrator's report, he's got Jackie Lindsay from the Wareham Village Association is offered to pay for the new flag up there because the other flag could not be used again. I'd like to publicly thank Jackie Lindsay and the town administrator for following through on it.
Excellent.
That was all. Thank you.
Okay. Was there anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Any announcements? I don't think there were. There's candidates night on Thursday at the VFW, 7 p.m., I believe.
Well, there's also at 6 o'clock on Thursday night in the Lower Town Hall, I believe it's the MIPA hearing with Beals and Thomas regarding the Pahonit mixed-use development. That's also going on, and that's at 6, so go over there and ask for me.
Okay. All right, on to the consent agenda. Let's see.
I don't believe we have any bills to pay tonight.
No, I don't think so.
We have appointments first, if you don't mind.
Yep, I think there's one.
There is, and that is, I believe it's Dashelle London, and this is for the position of a full voting member of the Recycling Committee. Her term to expire no later than June the 30th, 2011. I don't believe there's an interview here, so I would move approval.
Is she here?
All right.